Hi again. Chapter or Unit 10 in our textbook um, deals with weight control. So, more dealing with the weight management, looking at some myths, realities that deal with, the theory of weight control. So, I think at some point in our lives, most Americans are going to be thinking, hey, we need to lose some weight, need to lose a few pounds. So we're always, at some point preoccupied with that number on the scale. And, many people are spending a lot of money every year trying to lose weight. It's a sad but true fact that, we tend to be a lazy society sometimes that want instant gratification. So, folks want to, have that number on the scale go down rather quickly, but not have to work that hard to make it happen. So we are definitely a society who's willing to buy and try anything as long as it's quick and it's an easy method. So we know that diets and weight loss alone, they do not cure the overweight. So what happens when folks go on diets is they usually return to their old eating habits and they start to gain the weight back again. So you have to ask yourself, if you're going to go on a special diet, is this something that I can maintain every day for the rest of my life? And if so, great, but a lot of us are going to say, no, that's way too strict. There's no way I can maintain that way of eating for long periods of time. That's why I have to stop that diet. But when we stop those diets, we tend to go back to our old eating habits. So be cautious. They should be things that we can maintain for long, periods of time for the rest of our life. So we need to find improved and enjoyable eating and exercise habits to help keep the weight off. So we have to find a dietary pattern that, keeps us happy, but it's still healthy and it's going to help us to maintain an appropriate body weight. We have to find exercises that we enjoy, and that way we'll find time to do them because we enjoy them. And that's going to help us keep the weight off. As far as consumer protection, there really isn't any with the weight loss industry. That's why I always say it's a buyer beware market. So there isn't really any laws regulating that weight loss product that's being sold over the counter. So be cautious. If you're going to purchase something over the counter, research it first. Make sure that there's some scientific evidence that backs it up, that it actually works and doesn't show any negative side effects as a result. If we do have complaints about any weight loss products that are out there, we want to submit those complaints to the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. So again, these are all just some misleading claims that people or companies use in their weight loss products. So if you see things like testimonials or any before and after photos, those are definitely red flags that it's probably going to be false advertising, or maybe that the product is not going to work. If it promises to lose a large amount of weight in a short period of time, safe and effective weight loss is roughly around 1 to 2 max pounds a week. So if it's saying to lose a huge amount of weight in a short period of time, that's definitely a red flag. If they don't require any special dietary pattern or any exercise at all to go along with it, that should be something that promotes, a red flag in your head. If they guarantee long-term weight loss, there really isn't a guarantee. So they shouldn't be guaranteeing stuff like that. So these are all just some things that we should look at, as far as we see these claims and these advertisements for weight loss products. So just beware. If it sounds too good to be true, it normally is. So there's a lot of weight loss diets that are on the market today, and here are just some of the popular ones that we have seen out there. The Atkins, or the high protein type of diets, the low carb diets. I would be very cautious about being on, a large amount, or being on those particular types of diets for large amounts of time, because carbohydrates are your body's #1 preferred source of fuel. So we do need a certain amount of carbohydrates every day to think and concentrate, because 25% of all of our carbs go to our brain. It's literally fuel for our brain, our central nervous system, and our skeletal muscle. So as long as you're choosing the right types of carbohydrates, that's the key. So things that are high in fiber, that are not processed, they're whole grain, lots of fruits and vegetables, those types of things are the types of carbohydrates that we want to be choosing more of. So be cautious of those high protein diets. Definitely, sometimes are not good for us in any way, shape, or form. They do promote weight loss though in some cases, but I have to say most of it is water weight. And that's the thing about a lot of these special diets is they promote water loss. And the human body is roughly 60 to 70% water. So if we are on a diet that's going to have a diuretic type of effect and promotes more water loss, of course the number on the scale is going to go down. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's fat that's being lost. Weight Watchers is another one that's pretty popular out there. I really believe that Weight Watchers is a great diet that's out there because it promotes variety. It really promotes getting foods from all your different food groups. It doesn't really emphasize one versus another, so it does have a lot of variety in the diet. And the thing about Weight Watchers is it's on a point system, so as long as you're staying within your points every day, that's wonderful. And another great thing about Weight Watchers is they do offer leaders and check-ins, and sometimes that accountability factor does help a lot of folks in their weight loss process or their weight loss journey. As far as physical activity goes, we know that's an important part of the weight loss journey as well. So regular physical activity is definitely going to help reduce our abdominal fat. Remember we just talked about visceral fat in that last chapter. It's going to help reduce that, but also it's going to help improve our cholesterol levels. So maybe our total cholesterol is going to go down, our LDLs might go down, our HDLs might go up, our triglycerides might go down. Also it's going to help improve our blood pressure. So a lot of people who have high blood pressure doing regular aerobic exercise can really help to reduce that blood pressure. Also engaging in some resistance training is very helpful because that increases our lean body mass. So not only does it increase our muscle mass, but it also increases our bone density, thereby reducing our risk of osteoporosis. And in turn, that's going to help to reduce our fat mass. So if we combine this physical activity with a moderate reduction in our caloric intake, that's going to definitely improve the rate of weight loss. So as far as the ACSM, the American College of Sports Medicine, they recommend if we want to lose weight, right, we want to lose weight, that we do anywhere from 32 to 60 minutes of physical activity, moderate levels of physical activity every day. Okay, if you've lost weight and you just want to maintain what you're at, you need to do at least 29 to 43 minutes a day of moderate physical activity. So that could be, brisk walking, cycling, it could be a number of things, but at least getting those minutes in every single day is going to help to not only lose weight, but to maintain that. Diet pills, there's some that are currently approved in the United States. So Orlistat is a pretty common one, but it's also known by the names Ally or Xenical. Those are pretty popular, that they're available without prescriptions. You can actually purchase those over the counter. But just be cautious about diet pills. Folks who, maybe only need to lose 10 or 15 pounds, we don't need to go on a diet pill. It's simple lifestyle behavior changes that are going to help improve your weight loss. Those folks who are severely overweight or obese, then maybe going on a diet pill might be a good start. But once they do lose some weight, they need to go off that and maybe get with even a registered dietitian or a personal trainer, even someone who can, point them in the right direction as far as how to buy groceries, how to cook healthful meals, and things like that. So getting educated is definitely key. The obesity surgery field is called bariatrics, and many people have had bariatric surgery today. So those folks who are over 40 for a BMI are definite candidates for having that bariatric surgery, or those folks who have that BMI from 35 to 40, but also in addition to that, they have some weight-related health problems going along with that. So those are both candidates for the bariatric surgery. So the two different types, the first one is the gastric bypass. It tends to be the most effective method. It does produce a large amount of weight loss. It reduces their risk for certain disorders like type 2 diabetes or even sleep disorders. But it is expensive. I know a lot of individual insurances will cover that, but they have to be committed to lifestyle changes and follow-up care, because many people who go through these types of surgeries, yes, they do lose the weight, but they end up gaining it back because they do not make lifestyle changes. They go back to their old eating habits and not exercising, and then they tend to just over time gain all of that weight back. Lap band surgery is another popular one for those folks that have a BMI over 35. And it's constricting the band that reduces the amount of food the stomach can actually hold. So you can see the differences between the two. Gastric bypass right here is on the left, and then the lap band is over here on the right. There are concerns related to having this bariatric surgery, and sometimes is nutrient deficiencies. A lot of times, they're eating such small amounts of food, they're not getting certain key nutrients in their body. Also, there's anesthesia-related consequences after the surgery. A lot of times they gain the weight back, and skin contouring surgery is sometimes a necessity because they lose so much weight that their skin just kind of hangs, and they have to have this body contouring surgery as well. Liposuction is another quick method that folks use. I always tell people that you'll never lose a fat cell, right? The number of fat cells you have in your body you'll have for the rest of your life. You can multiply the number of fat cells, but you'll never lose a fat cell unless you have liposuction and they suck the fat cells out. So here, as far as liposuction, it's meant to contour. It's not necessarily to lose the weight. And no more than 8 pounds can be removed at a time. It could need to be repeated. And then if they gain the weight back, that benefit is going to be lost, okay? And there definitely is a high risk for infection when we do liposuction as well. So you can see the differences here from the left before and after liposuction. So people who lose weight and maintain the weight loss tend to make behavior changes. So exercise is definitely an important part of their life, and they make time for it on a daily basis. They have a healthy dietary pattern where they watch their portion sizes and make sure that they're not overeating. And so it has to be small changes. Small changes that are easy to implement are the ways that folks not only lose the weight, but they keep the weight off. So small behavior changes over time is the key to success. And we have to choose activities that we enjoy. If you told me, for example, Kara, you have to run every day for 30 minutes, I'd probably make up an excuse not to do it because I don't enjoy to run, but I do like to walk. So I would definitely go out and go on a walk every day for 30 minutes versus run. So, we have to figure out what are those things that we enjoy that keep our bodies active and make time for those on a daily basis. So what are some small acceptable changes we could make in our diet? Well, pick certain things like maybe when I have a sandwich every day, I'm going to, instead of putting regular mayonnaise on it, I'm going to do low-cal or fat-free mayo, or even switch to mustard in certain instances. That's an easy way to, reduce the amount of fat and calories in a diet. Or maybe instead of drinking soda, I'm going to start drinking water. So small acceptable changes. Don't try to change every single thing in your diet, because sometimes we set ourselves up for failure by doing too much. So it's got to be small behavior changes over time. Once you get used to that behavior change, then adapt another one and kind of work your way through your dietary pattern doing it that way. And that's easy to implement. Don't try to make huge changes all at once. It might take 6 months or even a year, and then you can look back and say, wow, my dietary pattern today is way better than it was 6 months ago. So some simple changes for healthy eating. Eat breakfast first and foremost. It's the most important meal of the day. You're breaking the fast. So we want to get up and eat a good healthy breakfast, and I always say that's like stoking your metabolism. It's stoking your metabolic furnace. It's revving it up, so you're going to burn more calories throughout the day by eating breakfast. So choose a healthy breakfast. Eat more vegetables than meat. We should be eating at least 5 to 9 servings a day of fruits and vegetables. And then drinking skim milk, right? So if you're having dairy products, switching to low fat or fat free is a great way to reduce the amount of fat and calories in your diet. Stop eating when you're full, right? If you're full, stop. Don't continue to eat and then 10 minutes later you're unbuckling your belt buckle because it's too tight. So, stop eating when you're full and eat only when you're hungry. Reduce your dessert size. Still allow yourself to have that treat, but maybe in a smaller portion. All right, so there's just a few different things that we can do for healthy eating. As far as physical activity, easy things like park further away from a building so you have to walk an extra 10 or 20 steps. Instead of paying for gas at the pump, walk into the gas station and pay for it inside. Go to the mall and walk around the mall to all the different shops instead of sitting on your computer and shopping online. So every day, just simple little things, taking the stairs instead of the elevator or the escalator to burn a few extra calories. All those extra calories are going to add up. And if we think about it, to lose 1 pound of fat, we have to burn off 3,500 of these extra calories. So keep that in mind. Take everyday opportunities to be active to burn those extra calories. And if we do so, expect gradual weight loss, right? With slow, small behavior changes. It's not going to be a huge amount of weight that's lost in a period. Like I said, 1 to 2 pounds a week is a safe and effective goal for weight loss. So if your goal is to lose 10 pounds, I definitely give yourself 10 weeks to make it happen. And please note that it's not going to be a straight path. We're going to have some peaks and valleys where, 1 week we might lose weight, but the next week we didn't lose any weight or even gained a pound. There's not always a straight path to that end goal. There's going to be peaks and valleys, and that's okay. But as long as we're staying on the path of keeping those behavior changes, make sure we're exercising regularly. We're moving our body every single day as much as possible. And then on top of that, we are engaging in those healthy dietary patterns. If that's part of your daily lifestyle, we'll see the weight loss and we'll keep the weight off.